Good morning. This morning we're going to be talking about the Office 2007 PowerPoint interface. It's changed significantly since the Office 2003 version, and we need to kind of cover this area, let you know where to find things, and sort of give you some idea what those things are called. So, if you would, stay with me, particularly if you're an Office 2003 user, because there's a new way to view the tools, to find the tools, if you will, and it requires a little change in the way you think. So let's just start at the very top. At the very top, we have this thing called the title bar, something you find on every software package inside of the suite, or actually every software package on a computer. And it basically just gives the title of the document, in this case, presentation 1. We haven't named this document yet, so it has the default name of a new document, excuse me, and the name of the program you're working in this case, Microsoft PowerPoint. To the right, we have those three tools you're really familiar with: the minimize button, the restore down maximize button, and the close button. Close, obviously closing the program as well as the window. Excuse me again. We To the left over here we have what's called the quick access toolbar, and the quick access toolbar is the only toolbar left in the program. You'll notice there's no menu bar and there are no toolbars available to us. This is it. We have the only toolbar left, called this quick access toolbar. But the neat thing about the quick access toolbar, it's a totally customizable. You can add any tool to it you want. So if there are tools you work with regularly, it's very simple to do. I'll show you that in just a minute. The other thing we can do with it is we can decide whether we display it above the ribbon, and the ribbon is this area right here, or below the ribbon. By default, it's displayed above the ribbon. I like mine below the ribbon, so I'm going to make that change now by clicking on this down arrow and choosing Show Below the Ribbon. That's where you'll find mine from now on. One of the tools I like on my quick access toolbar is the ability to preview um, whatever documents I'm working on prior to printing them. So I like the print preview button on my quick access toolbar. To add that to the quick access toolbar, I'm just going to come up here to the Office button. And the Office button, the tools we find underneath the Office button are those same tools we used to find in the File menu button on the menu bar. And so I'm going to come down and I'm going to hover over Print, and I see my Print Preview available to me right here. So I'm going to simply right click on the Print Preview and I'm going to add to the quick access toolbar. And now you can see that I have that tool available to me from there. Obviously, I can choose that tool from here as well by simply clicking on it. So it's available to me. I'm going to go ahead and close the print preview, and we'll do printing stuff later. To get really efficient at using any program outside of Office 2007, you have to get the whole logic of the layout down. And the first thing you have to have down is sort of a new way of thinking if you're from Office 2003. You have to get familiar with the tabs in the ribbon, and those are right here. And those tabs are sort of the equivalency of the old menu buttons. And when you clicked on a menu button, you got a drop down list of items to choose from, or commands to use. And in this case, in the ribbon, basically you're clicking on a tab and then those items appear. You don't have to have a drop down menu to make it work. So the first thing in the logic of working with the program is to get familiar with the the names of the tabs. And you'll find as you begin to understand the tabs, then when you go to do something, you'll understand, well, the animations tab, I'm going there to do certain things like transitions, animations, and things. We'll be talking about all of those things, obviously, but you need to kind of get the idea of why they call this the animation tab, or why they call this the design tab, or the insert tab, or the home tab. You get the picture. And below each of those tabs are the different groups. And a group is simply a group of tools. And so if I want to work with the clipboard group, here's the name, clipboard group. As I hover over it, you'll notice it changes color slightly. It just sort of highlights a little bit. Then I have the individual tools available to me. And so the logic becomes tab, group, tool. So for instance, if I want a new slide, I'm going to go to the Home tab, the Slides group, find the New Slide tool, and click. And I get a brand new slide. So that's the ribbon. On the left side here, we have the slides, in this particular case, the slides list. This pane is actually made up of two different tabs. This is the default tab. It's called the Slides tab, and it just is a list of all the slides we're working with. In this right pane over here, we have just a slide, the slide we're currently working with. Over here, we have a list basically of all the slides we're working with. The other view over here is called Outline View, and we'll talk about that further down the road. Both views very useful. And again, simply over here on the right is the current slide, or the slide we're currently working on. Then there's the Notes pane. That's down here, a place for you to add notes when you're working on a presentation, notes that you can use down the road for giving the presentation, etc. Last but not least, down here is our status bar. And so we have things like what slide we're currently working on out of how many slides, what the current theme is. We'll be talking about themes down the road. We have this spell checker working for us, just like in Word. And we have our zoom tools over here on the right, allowing us to zoom in, zoom out, increase the size of the slide or the area we're currently working on. We have our view tools. Right now we're in normal view. We have a slide sorter view, and we have a slide show, which will begin to show it from show the slideshow from square one. I'm going to go back to our normal view. Think of the slide itself as little more than a Word document in landscape view, because within PowerPoint we have all the same formatting tools available to us that we have in Word. And we'll talk about formatting a little bit down the road, but you'll notice that if I'm clicking on the slide, these tools are grayed out because I'm not using any of these tools. I have no need for these tools, so they're not available. I'm not working with text, so I don't need text formatting tools. The minute I click inside of for instance, this title box where it says click to add a title, if I click in there, you'll notice that those formatting tools become available. We'll talk about that again down the road a little bit. So enough for now. Simply about this layout. Please get familiar with it. It'll help a lot because as we go down the road, I'm going to be moving faster, and it'll be important for you to know where I'm going when I say design, theme, design, layout, whatever it might be. Okay? Thanks for listening.